realize you are doomed.
Oh, I don't think so. So uncivilized.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. General Grievous, no doubt about it, he's great at Gear 13, and we've actually seen a lot of people starting to utilize him as a defensive leader for Grand Arena and Territory Wars, and we've seen compositions of General Grievous B1, B2, and a Zeta on Newt Gunray with Magna Guard. Now, if you don't have the Zeta on Newt, you can use Droideka instead, but with that Zeta on Newt, it becomes a super deadly defensive team, and it's all thanks to his leadership with the minus crit avoidance and defense, the stacking potency for droid allies when the debuffs are resisted, and then a lot of bonus turn meter flying around when they're damaging target locked enemies, which is going to happen quite often with a lot of AoEs from the team. B1 does AoE, can inflict target lock, B2 can inflict target lock and has an AoE dispel, and then General Grievous just goes ham and just wipes out the enemy team. So the question is, what do you use to counter General Grievous at Gear 13 and with him being such a deadly defensive team? The answer is actually going to use some of your more meta teams, which is really kind of disappointing because he's so strong that you really have to use those top-end teams, so you have to use your Jedi and your Galactic Republic, but things are going to change up a little bit because you're actually not going to use the typical teams here. You're actually going to swap leads on Jedi, and you're actually going to bring in a surprise character for that Galactic Republic team, obviously using a Padme lead, but there's one character in there that you're going to throw in that's not really someone you would expect because it kind of seems to go against what Padme's leadership has. So we're going to break down both those teams, but we're also going to discuss first up the Traya team, because Traya was a great counter for Gear 12, but not so much Gear 13. Now, the old counter to General Grievous that a lot of people use was a Darth Traya-led kind of team. So you have the trio with Traya, Nihilus, and Scion, and then you throw in some other characters here like Sith Trooper, and let's go with Sith Marauder. No, because we use Sith Marauder for Darth Revan's team, so let's use Dooku instead. And at Gear 12, this works pretty well, but it was still always kind of a high-risk situation because the target lock from General Grievous and his leadership gives a lot of bonus turn meter to that squad. So as you get a lot of target lock on the team, it can really screw with things. And you actually see here that once you start getting that Gear 13 on characters, it's really gonna screw things up. Plus, you can't counter. And you can see this team is just getting shredded right now, and no one on my team has moved yet, and it's just this constant turn meter train with this team. We've now lost 3 characters. Now, yeah, at this point, I can't really move, and I mean, it's not like my team was modded badly. It was pretty well modded, plenty of Zetas on the team, but that target lock and just the turn meter boost on my team, it got rid of B1, which is great, but I mean, it doesn't work too well once Gear 13 comes into play because General Grievous gets so much health, he's dealing out so much damage at Gear 13, it's not really viable anymore. So the question then becomes, what teams can work to counter General Grievous at Gear 13? So we all know Padme's pretty good for countering Darth Revan, but when Darth Revan gets to Gear 13, the Padme kind of falls off in viability. So the question is, what do you use for her then? And actually, she works really great with the General Grievous counter, and you're actually going to change up your lineup a little bit. You don't use the normal lineup here, you don't use Anakin, you're actually going to save him for your Jedi Knight Revan team. What you're going to use here with this team, and this is going to be very surprising, you actually use Grandmaster Yoda. The question is, why Grandmaster Yoda? Well, it's very simple. Between his buffs from using his basic, the fact he can steal buffs from the enemy team, and his battle meditation, it actually synergizes with C-3PO very, very well for this team. With C-3PO, you have the constant boost to protection up whenever they gain unique or non-unique buffs. So you go and look at, I believe it is Intermediary, where, yeah, all Galactic Republic allies have bonus defense penetration per stack of translation, but anytime they gain a different non-unique non-protection buff, they gain 15% protection up for 2 turns, which obviously doesn't stack with itself, but still, the fact that Grandmaster Yoda can quickly get a lot of buffs out to himself and to the whole team, you're going to get that constant protection up from C-3PO. So this is great here, and then of course that 15% translates to 3 stacks of courage under the Padme lead. So this team right here really works well. In fact, I'll actually show you guys right now as we go into battle. The goal here with Grandmaster Yoda is actually to make him faster than the B1 on the enemy team, which isn't that hard considering how he is, you know, inherently faster. So you're actually going to kind of trick that B2 from going, and then you're going to go ahead, use your battle meditation here, give foresight to your whole team, and then B1 is going to go ahead and ignore, or go ahead and use his AoE, but it's going to get dodged by the fact that foresight was on your whole team. So then you can go ahead, get that confused onto the Magna Guard, and then go straight for the B2 Super Battle Droid. You're going to use the Mass Assist here, get some damage in on him, and start just wailing away on him. Use the stun here, get that undispellable stun if possible, but at the same time, you can get some really solid damage here. Use the special here, and we almost have the B2 gone, but unfortunately at this point, we have the taunt back on Magna Guard, and we do have the stealth onto Yoda, so when he's stealthed, he can't be countered by Magna Guard, and then we're going to go straight back onto the B2 Super Battle Droid, take him out. We're going to get some damage here. You know, the trick here is that you have to really buff up the survivability with your team because you're going to get a lot of attacks from Grievous. The problem here is you have to wear down the other droids around Grievous before you can really get to him, but once you get the buffs, or once you get rid of B2 Super Battle Droid, it actually gets a whole lot easier for your team, because then you don't have to worry about the constant buff dispel for your team, and you can really do a lot of damage here with all those buffs stacking up and the protection up and everything here. It's actually going to work pretty well. So Magna Guard, we're still working on him, but ooh, we're almost gonna lose Ahsoka here if we're not careful. So we will go ahead and see if we can maybe heal up Ahsoka. This is the problem, is that even then, it's not exactly a guaranteed win, or a guaranteed that you're going to get all of your characters to survive until the end. It's really just kind of a timing thing. But then you're just going to go ahead and focus down Newt Gunray, see if you can get rid of him. There we go. We got a one-shot on him thanks to Grandmaster Yoda. And look at that. General Grievous just melted from those counterattacks. And that's the beautiful thing, is if you can stack up that protection up from characters on like Kenobi and Padme and get them to get a lot of courage on them when they do a counter against General Grievous like you saw there, he melts. And at that point, it gets a whole lot easier for your team. We'll dispel some of the extortion on everybody, heal everybody up, and we'll just keep going here. We'll get some mass assist on the B1 droid and see what we can do. We'll go ahead, spread out some buffs on everybody, get them a lot of buffs here. We got foresight, counter, armor penetration, offense up. I mean, there's literally everything under the sun right now on this team. So that is really helpful. Get rid of B1, and then we will go ahead and take out Newt Gunray, and then we just have Magna Guard left. So right now, Ahsoka is still kind of squishy. Once you get up to Gear 13, she's going to get a lot of bonus health, especially with the mods and everything on her. So you can make her stick around a whole lot easier there. You're still going to lose her most of the time because you can't really keep her alive. You don't have Anakin around to really help her out, but as it stands right now at Gear 12, like I have Ahsoka here, she still does pretty good, and she's really here to make sure that her Zeta, with her assist, is able to get rid of the taunt on Magna Guard, and that is the really helpful thing here. She's here to make sure you can get rid of that taunt on Magna Guard and go for B2, because once you get rid of B2, it gets a lot easier. Throw up a combination of counter and then courage at the right time. General Grievous uses AoE, and you counter and you just melt Grievous. That's actually pretty lucky, but most of the time, you go ahead and save up courage on someone and then just unleash with either the mass attack or Padme's stun or anything like that from General Kenobi. That is a great way of just one-shotting General Grievous right away. So the other team that works really well as a counter for these General Grievous teams you'll find is actually going to be a Jedi team, but instead of a Jedi Knight Revan lead, you're actually going to use a Bastila Shan lead instead. And what you get with that Bastila lead is bonus Terminator to start, protection up, bonus tenacity with the Zeta, which I highly recommend for her leadership, and 35% more damage while they have protection up. Overall, what this allows you to do is quickly counter the Terminator train that you get with General Grievous, because General Grievous teams, they quickly hand out that target lock at the start of the match, and with this, you're able to quickly counter that because they can't get that target lock, and allows you to actually control the start of the match, which is super important for this team, because you don't want General Grievous to get really crazy. And actually, what you're going to do at the start of this match is, instead of using direct focus, you're actually going to force B2 to come out stealth, because once B2 is out stealth, you're going to direct focus him. So what I recommend you do here is that you turn meter swap with either Anakin or Bastila, whoever has slower turn meter, and this will allow you to actually get turn meter pretty high on both characters. You're going to dispel, if possible, if, you know, Magnet Guard doesn't dodge there, which he can do, but the trick is to get buff immunity, if possible, on B2. Actually, it doesn't really matter. You just need to make sure you get the direct focus onto B2 and do single target attacks against him. And this is actually going to be the important thing. You need to make sure that you get rid of B2 ASAP, because if B2 is allowed to survive, he can dispel and it can really screw over your team, and that is not fun at all. So we're going to go ahead and regenerate some protection here, and we're just going to keep wailing away on B2 if the poor guy doesn't just dodge everything. But maybe we'll go ahead and do some more damage here, and we're actually going to lose Jedi Knight Revan here in a moment, but that's fine because we have Jolie who can revive him. We're going to go ahead, start wailing away on Magnet Guard if possible, and just keep working our way down on him and use that revive from Jolie here in a moment. We'll heal up, protection up on Bastila. We got some crit immunity on Revan, which is always nice, but now we really want to focus on taking out B1, because B1's still going to do a lot of healing with this team, and also can really screw things over with his target lock, so you need to make sure you get rid of him too. But at this point, you can see that General Grievous is out stealth, and we're going to actually direct focus him and start wailing away on him and get rid of him, because you need to make sure that you can get rid of Grievous as fast as possible. He is able to dispel debuffs from himself, but the goal here is to just make sure you can get rid of General Grievous, and that is the tricky part here. And this is also a problem with this team, because it's very hard to get rid of General Grievous while there's still other characters up, because he can mark other characters and allow them to go ahead and, you know, be forced to taunt. So you do want to make sure that you can just keep focusing down General Grievous. So we're actually going to use a dispel here. We were able to get rid of the taunt or we're able to get rid of Newt in the process, but in a moment here we're going to lose poor old Jedi Knight Revan again, but we can still go ahead and revive with Jolie here in a moment. He's getting that cooldown reduction, and look at that, his revive is back, and we'll just go ahead and keep working on the B1 droid and get rid of him and still work on General Grievous. Now, of course, we are still having some problems here where we are getting some damage onto the poor Jedi Knight Revan, and he's probably going to die again if we can't get rid of General Grievous here. But look at that, we are getting rid of the General Grievous here, and we're actually going to go ahead and use a cooldown reduction onto Jolie, see if we can get the revive back in time. This one's not going as smoothly as I like to see them do, but it's still going pretty much okay. We can actually get the revive back here in time, and look at that. It's a little riskier. It's not as easy as the Padme one. This one, there was some bad luck on my team with some dodges, but at the same time, we were still able to keep everybody still alive. So this is a way to get 20 banners with your team. It still can be pretty rough, and, you know, maybe you should work on buffing up the survivability of Revan. I don't think my Revan is modded too well on the test account here, so there is still some stuff to work on there, which is something I'm gonna have to work on. In fact, let me take a look at what I have on my Jedi Knight Revan. I think I could probably improve his mods a little bit. And, you know, he does have full gear 12, but at the same time, I could probably buff him up a little bit more. Yeah, about 40,000 health on him. So he is still going to be pretty squishy, and if you do get focused down by that General Grievous, it can be a problem here. But you can still see how viable this team is with their constant revives from Jolie Bindo, the constant assist from Anakin and Bastila, the dispels, the buff immunity, and the direct focus from Jolie will allow you to knock down that General Grievous team pretty easily. So that is gonna be it for now, guys. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about these teams? Are there other teams you guys want to see try to use the counter General Grievous that you want to toss me an idea? Because now that I have this test account, I can try this stuff out a whole lot easier. So if you guys have ideas for other General Grievous counter teams, let me know down below in the comments. As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later.